Hello everyone, welcome back to Relative Security, and today we are going to initiate a new series starting from the basics of cybersecurity, and then moving onwards we will discuss different topics, and we would be very thankful to you if you would also suggest any of the problems that you're facing, any of the topics that you want us to discuss, and we will try to make it a periodic and a weekly or maybe bi-weekly video that we'll be sharing. But depending on your response, how you respond to these series, we would be following maybe certain cybersecurity certifications components which are being taught in those cybersecurity certifications. But I do not want to associate my training series or my videos with any of the cybersecurity certifications. However, these topics will be helpful to you for certain cybersecurity certifications. So today the first video is regarding the basics of cybersecurity, general security concepts. So the first thing that I want to discuss is introduction to information security. And when we are talking about the information security, we have to talk about information. What exactly is information? So the definition from Isaka is any data endowed with meaning and purpose. Any data which has a meaning and purpose can be known as information. So let's take an example. For example, if you have a sequence of numbers 100, 150, 200. Now this is just plain data. It does not have any other information. If somebody says 100, 150, 200, you wouldn't understand a single thing. So if you put some context into these numbers, for example, the sales of a product over the past 3 months were 100, 150 and 200 units. Now this becomes information because it has provided you with some meaning, context and a purpose. So now this information can be used to make decisions in a proper and meaningful way. So that now that we have discussed the information and what's the difference, how is it different from data, let's talk about security. Any measures in place to protect people, property, information, systems or resources. Any kind of measure that you do to protect these things is known as security. So security refers to these certain measures that you will take to protect these resources from threats, risks and unauthorized access. It encompasses a wide range of activities designed to ensure the confidentiality, integrity and availability of the assets, whether physical or digital. Now, we will just discuss one small daily life example and then we will move forward. For example, if you have something expensive with you and you want to travel somewhere, how would you protect it so you travel safely to your destination? Either you will put a lock on the bag, put an electronic tag so you can keep track of that particular important stuff all the time, or keep an eye on it possibly throughout your journey. So all these measures that you took are examples of security. These are all steps that you took to secure whatever you are carrying. Same goes with the information in your organization. Any steps taken to secure or protect the information would be information security. Let's discuss different types of security. The first one comes to mind is physical security. Protecting physical assets like buildings, hardware and people from physical threats such as theft, vandalism and natural disasters. These are all things that you can bring under the umbrella of physical security. If we talk about information security, as we did before, protecting data and information systems from unauthorized access, use, disclosure, disruption, modification, or destruction. And this will come under the information security. What is cybersecurity? It is a subset of information security that focuses only on protecting the computers, networks, and data from cyber threats like hacking, malware, and phishing. Operational security is the process of protecting sensitive information that could be used by adversaries to cause harm. So this is not this is only talking about the process of protecting your sensitive information. Application security ensures that the software applications are designed and maintained to prevent security vulnerabilities. And network security, it is to protect the integrity, confidentiality, and availability of data as it is transmitted over or accessed via the network. So these are the types of securities that we discussed just at a basic level. Let's talk about information versus cybersecurity, because this is something that is discussed very often, and it is a question that is usually asked during the interviews as well, that what is the difference between information security and cybersecurity. So talking about information security, it is a broader discipline that involves protecting all forms of information, whether it's digital, physical, or in transit. That means it is being passed from one computer to another. It is being uploaded from your on-premises infrastructure towards the cloud. All that information has to be protected from unauthorized access, disclosure, alteration, or destruction. So this information security, since we're talking about a broader discipline, it will encompass various security measures and practices which will be designed to ensure the CIA, the confidentiality, integrity, and availability of that information. However, when it comes to cybersecurity, it is a subset of information security that focuses specifically on protecting digital assets such as networks, computers, servers, and data from cyber threats. It deals with safeguarding your information that is stored, processed, or transmitted in electronic form against malicious attacks, unauthorized access, or the damage. Now, there's a terminology that we have used a couple of times, that is confidentiality, integrity, and availability. I would like to touch upon these three terms in a bit of a detail so that you know that what exactly we are protecting and why these terminologies are going to come again and again, because these three words, confidentiality, integrity, and availability, these are known as the core principles of information security. So the first one is confidentiality, ensuring that the sensitive information is only accessible to those authorized to view it. If your information is available for all to be viewed and it's not a public information, then there is a problem. That means the confidentiality of that particular information has been breached, because that is being read by anyone who was not authorized to view it. Integrity is protecting information in a way that it is not being altered or tampered with by any unauthorized individuals. And then availability is to make sure that the data is available whenever it's needed to the authorized users and they have a reliable access to that particular information. That would be availability of your data. So confidentiality, integrity, and availability were discussed at a high level, but now we will go into the detail of each and every one. For example, confidentiality. We discussed that it is a it is a principle that ensures that sensitive information is only accessible to those authorized to view it. So that is something now you need to understand, that what is authorized user. somebody who has the right and the permission to view that information. Anybody who's not allowed to view it will be known as unauthorized. Now, any sensitive information that must be protected from unauthorized access to safeguard the privacy or the security of an individual or organization. Because confidentiality is a key principle that aims to prevent unauthorized access to sensitive or private information. It it ensures that the sensitive information is kept secure and private so that only individuals, groups, or even systems with appropriate permission can access, view, or use it. This concept is crucial in protecting data from being exposed to unauthorized users who could misuse it, violate the privacy, or cause harm to individuals or organizations. Now, there are different components to it. For example, access control, the process of defining and enforcing that who can access specific information is known as the access control. And then there are security policies, which are formal rules and procedures that define how information should be protected, what are the different ways that we will be using to protect that information, and ensuring that the information is only accessed by those who are allowed. And then another component under the confidentiality is the monitoring and auditing. For example, you have defined the security policies, you have defined the different processes that how you are going to protect that information. You have also uh, put in place the access controls that how you will prevent any unauthorized user from accessing the private information. Then there is a need for monitoring that, continuously monitoring the access to sensitive information and auditing the logs to detect any unauthorized access attempts. It is not enough that you just put in place the access controls and policies. You also have to make sure that you are continuously monitoring and auditing the access that is being granted to those authorized users. For example, we'll just take one example and then we will move on to integrity. Confidential documents. Physical documents containing sensitive information such as contracts or medical records of any patients are often stored in secure locations like locked filing cabinets or rooms with restricted access. Only authorized personnel with the proper keys or access codes can retrieve those documents. And when we talk about the digital sphere, in any organizations, employees are given user accounts with access rights attached to those user accounts, which are tailored for their specific role. For example, a human resources manager might have access to employee records. However, a software developer would not be allowed to see the employee records because the software developer is the role of a software developer does not need access to the employee records. So that's confidentiality. Next topic that we are going to discuss is integrity. Integrity is protecting information from being altered or tampered with in an unauthorized way. Now, in any organization, the information has to be and is usually updated all the time. But the problem comes when that update is being done by an unauthorized individual. That is where the integrity of your processes, integrity of your document, integrity of your data is being compromised. Because integrity ensures that the information remains accurate, consistent, and trustworthy over its life cycle. This means that the data should not be altered or tampered with in unauthorized ways, either accidentally or maliciously. So the goal is to make sure that the information, whenever it is accessed, it is in its intended unmodified state. Importance of integrity is that the trustworthiness, decision making, and compliance. For example, the trustworthiness. Users need to trust that the data they are accessing at any time is accurate and has not been manipulated. For example, financial records, medical records, or legal documents, they have a very significant importance in any organization. So if there are financial records, for example, a payslip of an individual, if that is being tampered with and the user tries to access it, an authorized user, he will be provided most probably with the wrong information, which is detrimental for the trust towards the financial controls or the financial data of the organization. Similarly, decisions based on the altered or corrupted data can lead to significant errors, legal issues, and financial loss, even in some cases, threats to human life. If these records are medical records, it can become a threat to human life as well. And the compliance, for example, many regulations and standards such as GDPR, HIPAA, and SOX, they require organizations to ensure the integrity of sensitive data. Some examples of integrity violations would be, for example, if an unauthorized person gains access to bank's database and changes the account balance of his own account from 500 to, let's say, 5,000 or 50,000, the integrity of the financial data is now being compromised. Or for example, in the election system, if the votes are being altered by an unauthorized entity, the integrity of the voting process, the entire voting process, will be compromised. Similarly, the protection methods that we would discuss here are similar to what we discussed in some of them are that we discussed in the confidentiality, for example, access controls and monitoring and audit logs. But in addition to that, there are more specific controls that are relevant to integrity are encryption, checksums and hashing, digital signatures. These are all the things that we will be discussing in the next coming videos as well. So next, let's move to availability. Ensuring that the authorized users have reliable access to information and resources whenever it's needed. It means that the system's data and other resources must be accessible and functional whenever legitimate users require them without unnecessary delays or interruptions. Now, why availability is important? I mean, confidentiality and integrity, we understand that. But why availability is given such importance? Now, in this digital age, organizations rely on continuous access to information and systems to operate effectively. So, for example, if employees, customers, or partners cannot access necessary resources, it can disrupt operations, which can lead to financial losses and damage the organization's reputation as well. Now, this is very critical for the business continuity. For industries like healthcare, finance, and emergency services, availability is crucial for maintaining vital services. Any disruption could result in severe consequences such as delayed medical treatment or financial loss. When we talk about the components of availability, first two things that come to mind are system uptime, which refers to the percentage of time that a system is operational and available to users. Ensuring high uptime is critical for maintaining availability. Organizations often aim for 5 nines availability, meaning that systems are available for 99.999% of the time. Similarly, redundancy and failover. Redundancy involves having backup systems or components that can take over if primary one fails. Failover mechanisms automatically switch to backup systems in case of a failure, ensuring that services remain available without interruption. For example, a cloud service provider may use multiple data centers across different geographical locations. If one data center experiences a failure, the service can continue to operate from another data center, ensuring uninterrupted access for users. Now, the three components which we just discussed, which are CIA, confidentiality, integrity, and availability, they are the foundations or the core principles of any well designed information security practice. We adopt security policies in enterprises or individually model the CIA triad from a protection perspective. However, attackers have their own model too. This model consists of three pillars: disclosure, alteration, and deniability. If you see, these are the exact opposite of CIA. So, confidentiality, opposite is disclosure. Integrity, opposite would be alteration. And availability, opposite is deniability. So let's discuss the first one, disclosure. Data is accessed by non-authorized or unauthorized users through methods like trojans, brute force attacks, and theft. These all refer to different ways in which attackers gain unauthorized access to your sensitive information. Alteration means the data has been compromised or tampered with. This can be attained by malware, viruses, or attacks like SQL injection. Once the users are or the attackers are inside your system, they can modify any kind of document that they can lay hand on. Data compromise, this occurs when unauthorized users gain access to your data and they alter, delete, or manipulate it in ways that violate its original state or intent. This can lead to misinformation and errors in decision making, which we have discussed already. Now, data tampering is specific type of data compromise where the data is deliberately altered by an attacker to achieve some malicious goal, such as causing financial damage, misleading users, or disrupting operations. Deniability is preventing legitimate users from accessing a system, resource. Now, this is a denial of service, which includes activities such as preventing users from accessing it until IT personnel restore it to normal working order or activating a backup system. Another topic that we want to discuss is the non-repudiation. This is a security principle that ensures that a party involved in transaction or communication cannot deny the authenticity of their signature, message, or action at a later time. It proves, for example, let's take an example that somebody agrees to you that they will do something XYZ tomorrow, or they tell you a secret, and when it comes out, and you, let's say, tell anybody that I have been informed about this XYZ news by Mr. Y. And when they ask Mr. Y, he completely denies of sharing any kind of information with you. Now, this is something that Mr. Y has denied telling you the story, which is not the case. So the non-repudiation provides the proof of the origin, integrity, and receipt of the data or the information, ensuring that the parties involved cannot repudiate or deny having performed a specific action. For example, if the same information was communicated to you on a piece of paper or through digital means along with the digital signatures on it. That is, when someone signs a document with a digital signature, a unique cryptographic hash is created based on the contents of the document and the signer's private key. Now, these terminologies like private key or the cryptographic hash may be too much for you right now, but these are the things that are and that provide the non-repudiation, and we will discuss these in the upcoming videos as well. So once that document is signed, now the user cannot go back and say that I did not provide it, because his digital signature with the private key is present on that particular document, and he cannot deny now because only that person knows the private. It's like a password that you know that password. Nobody else knows it. And you, if you do something, you cannot deny doing particular action. So these are the few topics that we discussed today, and there are certain documents like authentication, authorization, and accounting that we will be discussing in next video. But for today's video, that's I think these are the different topics that are more than enough for now. Just a quick recap that today we discuss what is information security, how is it different from cybersecurity, and what is confidentiality, integrity, availability, different forms of security, which included physical, operational, information, cyber, network, and then the non-repudiation as well. I hope this video helps you start your journey into the cybersecurity, or may clarify your concepts about these basic definitions. These could be helpful for you in your future, in your interview questions, or in any other tests as well for your certifications. If you like this video and it has helped you in any way, please don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video. Small actions like a small click on the like or subscribe will mean a lot to us, and it will motivate us to create more content for you. Thank you so much.